So it all started when I was 8 years old, when my uncle granted me these two hybrid orchids. And I remember looking at those orchids at that young age and realizing how similar they look like human faces with its lips sticking out. To me, it almost seemed like a human with its tongue sticking out, and that made me instantly fall in love with them. Orchids are the largest group of flowering plants with an estimated 25,000 to 28,000 species all across the world except the Antarctic. They can exist as terrestrials growing on the ground like any other plant, as epiphytes clambering over the trees, as lithophytes on the rocks, and even there are some species which are semi-aquatic. The orchid flowers are bilaterally symmetrical. The central petal, which is called the lip or the labellum, which is shaped almost like a tongue. As of now, in Penang Hill, there are 158 species which have been recorded. There is only one species of orchid which is endemic to Penang Hill, the Zeuxine rupestris. In terms of the extremes of the orchid world, Penang is home to either ends of the extreme. On one end of the extreme, you have the tiny and diminutive ribbon root orchid, which grows on the twigs and branches of trees, and when it's not in flower, it actually looks like a mass of worms. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have the grand and majestic tiger orchid, the heaviest orchid in the world, which can grow up to 2,000 kilograms. To realize all of this actually grow so near to the hustle and bustle of the city is indeed a marvel. Habitat loss through deforestation, logging, agriculture and mining constitutes one of the main threats which destroys the ecosystem that the orchids need to live. Another ever-present threat is the threat of poaching of wild orchids. As the more charismatic species, like the slipper orchids, have been collected to the point of over-collection and the wild populations have been depleted, many poachers are now going after any and every wild orchid they can see. To stop the poaching of wild orchids, we need to stop the demand. When you see such orchids being sold, do not buy them. Insist and even pester your nurseryman to only sell you cultivated orchids. And when you're on social media and you come across postings of orchids being sold, or if you come across stalls which actually sell wildly collected orchids, report them to the State Forestry Department. Orchids of Penang Hill is a pictorial guide which you can bring along on your hikes and walks to spot and identify orchids. Look at the flowers and compare the flowers to the pictures within the book. It's a very rewarding experience when you're able to spot an orchid in the wild and also be able to identify them. And I leave you with a challenge. There are 50 wild orchids from Penang Hill which are described in this guidebook. Try to find all of them in the wild. All it takes to brighten up your day is to see a wild orchid in bloom.